up?
Hype me up. You're gonna have a real bad time.
Welcome to Retireholics, everybody. It's gonna be a great show today. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about. My name is Jay Dizzle. That's not true. Who am I kidding? I don't have a nickname like these guys. I'm just fucking JD. But we got Robe Guy, and he is so fly. And we got Nerdy Chad too, always learning something new. Then there's that one guy, he don't even say hi. That's Silent J, and he's always on his silent grind. Because Retireholics is a state of mind where your contributions can't always be defined. We like our 401 with a big old K. It's another episode of Retireholics coming your way. And when I say coming your way, I mean right now. Justin, I know you've got something planned for this guest. So come on, man child. Let's hear it. Who is on the show today?
Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You'll always remember your first intro, that is. For those of you who have not been here too long, Holly was the very first time I ever had to write an intro. Came to me last minute.
Wow.
Scared shitless. Didn't know what to say. I was reading from a book, but it was definitely one of my favorite intros. And as you all know, three-peat guest, right? But I also heard that, I don't know, I think it was Webby or someone said 5. Kind of threw me off guard, but
no way.
Three-peat guest. What?
Webby was asking if we have a 5-peat.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Anyways, three-peat guest, dear friend of the crew, although she might be on Mark's shit list.
I know.
For a little bit longer. Clearly a boomer of technology, can't get lighting right, doesn't know how to turn on her camera, but we love her nonetheless.
Thank God.
Everybody, please welcome Miss Holly Knight.
I love you guys. Thank you for your patience with me. It's been one of those days, those weeks. I don't know.
Welcome to the show, Holly. You are a fan favorite, and we're excited to have you here today. We've got a lot of really cool shit to talk about, I think. I've never been excited about the subject matter as much as I am for this show here today. I think we can have some in-depth conversations. But before we do that, let's do a little housekeeping first. Holly, we know you left NFP. And but let's hear your big special announcement. Where have you landed? And maybe what you could do is, for the people that don't know you, which I know is probably nobody, I see you as this kind of financial educator that these firms hire you because you fucking get shit done and you get out there and actually make things happen for people in this whole retirement space. Are you continuing in that same type of role? Where are you? Where are you? Where's this new employer? Let us know.
All right. Well, so I am going to be doing some financial education, but more in a supportive role. And so my new position is the Director of Retirement Plan Services. And so I'm going to be working with.
Who's texted me?
Sorry, that's my son. And so I'm going to be supporting our retirement plan services division. And so my new family is with the AERA Group.
Oh, okay. All right. How big is that shop? How many people work there? Ballpark.
So it's about 4,500, I want to say. We've had a lot of growth. I mean, it's a young company, but there's been tremendous growth, especially this year. So it's kind of an exciting place to be right now.
All right. Well, fun. Good for you. I know obviously you're great at what you do, and it's cool that they snagged you. I'm sure they're excited about that. Okay, right on. Holly's announcement. AERA Group.
When does this officially start? Because I mean, you haven't even put this on LinkedIn yet.
No, I was waiting to come on the show with you guys.
Dang.
No, did you have to clear through
just officially started.
Yeah, this is big news. So today was my 9th day with them. So it's brand new. It's a little like drinking water out of a fire hose. I'm meeting a lot of people, and I was in Chicago last week, but it's really exciting. This is a great firm with a lot of just a lot of activity right now, and a very entrepreneurial spirit, which is what drew me to them. So
That's awesome. When you need to announce your next employer, we can have you come here too.
Next role.
Kidding, AERA Group. I'm just joking around.
I think I'd like to put some roots down here. I mean, this is a different. I mean, I've been in the industry, for a while now. I just turned 50 this year, and I've seen a lot of different.
Ketchup?
Huh?
You get catch-up contributions
Wait,
now.
you said this year, like within the last 15 days?
Oh, sorry, you're right. No, last year. Oh gosh, I'm gonna be 51 this year. So last year I turned 50, but that was kind of a big year for me. I intentionally put out this kind of like mantra to myself to really figure out where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. And I think you hit a certain age, and then you start looking at time differently. And I just wanted to be really, really intentional. And so I took that year to be very, take some deep dives, and this is exactly where I need to be. So I'm excited.
Is your mantra still "my best is yet to come"?
Yes, it is.
Wow. We're only 5 minutes in. Holly's already gotten very deep. That's the Holly we know and love.
Yep.
And 2 more housekeeping things I'd like to do. I found out today, just randomly, that Brian Williams, who is in our chat bar right now, he's got a fucking podcast, and it's called it's called 401k and Beyond, and it's on Apple, Spotify, Amazon. He's got 9 episodes, but he's been doing it since like 2021 or something. There you go, Brandon. Thank you. There's this little logo thing. And so I just want to say, he's kind of a Retireholics chat bar family. So
I'll be listening. I had no idea.
I don't know if it's any fucking good or not. I mean, it could be a total piece of shit for all I know, but hey, if there's 401k podcasts out there, I think y'all should go check it out.
You're such a dick.
Lastly, for the little housekeeping, here's what we're going to do today. Sometimes Rogue Guy. Housekeeping. Sometimes Rogue Guy.
A little late on that, just like Ollie.
When things don't always go as planned, you can go back to the old way of doing things. Like I want to say that people should evolve and always do new things, but sometimes you need to recognize when the old thing was better than the new thing or the next thing. And so we're going to go old school chat bar champion tonight. Okay. And for this year, we're going to nominate who we think. And then assuming Brandon's okay with this, we're going to let the audience pick the actual winner like we used to, polling style,
Can we vote this time?
No, we can't vote. And because
I don't see how any of this is any different. I'm confused.
We need to leave this in the hands. We haven't let the audience vote for chat bar champion in fucking a year plus or something.
I don't pay much attention at the end, so that makes sense.
And the winner, we're going to go back to like them getting like fried chicken and fucking, shit like that. So that's what we're going back to. Okay. And Brandon, if you're ready, can we finally, since you're back, is Hackler here? Is Hackler here? Is he here? Is Hackler not here?
I didn't see him on there.
Oh my God, never mind. No, that's okay. Brandon, can't we just show everyone what Hackler won? We can show.
We already did.
We have the image. There it is.
Oh.
Hackler gets this neon thing for his little Retireholics room being built for him and shipped to him. So that's it for the Chat Bar Champion of 2024. This year, you're just going to get like fucking 500 hamburgers and shit like that. Okay, Brandon, it's good to have you back. Let's do some headlines. This one's a doozy. Where did Chad go? I need him for this one. Did he just cut out?
He's scared of this topic.
I
I
really
was
need.
looking for
Gives him
Miller
eyes.
Lights. I was looking for Miller Lights for Bob Euchre. I don't have any.
Oh God, good old Bob.
A
Bad day.
few days ago, a joint announcement came from Hancock and Vestwell, and they are partnering together. I was a bit taken aback. I mean, we've seen things like this. The most analogous one I could give you, I think, would be Ubiquity doing the shit for Principal. But this one was really caught me off guard. It's called Future Step. There we go. Let me give you a few points that I've read, and I've seen several media kind of posts, as well as we got an email from our local John Hancock person. And these are some of the details. They say it's open architecture. That sounds kind of cool, especially because I think this is going to be a small market thing. They claim fully digital, which obviously is why I think Aaron Schum's involved in Vestwell. It's third-party administrator friendly, which obviously for bias reasons I like, and they've always been a big third-party administrator record keeper. They say competitive pricing. I guess we'll see on that. We haven't seen any details around that. And this is part of John Hancock. This is what they say they're doing here is part of a multi-year transformation strategy. Holly, aren't we all on a multi-year transformation strategy? I mean, I know you are.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Aaron Schum is quoted saying, an unwavering commitment to affordability and inclusivity. We aim to give individuals from all walks of life help to secure a brighter financial future. Okay, let's talk. So here's my statement. You all tell me if it's true or not, or what you think about it. So Aaron's fucking technology at Vestwell has to be cheaper and better than what Hancock thinks it can build on their own. Is that a fair statement? Chime in.
I don't know about cheaper, but I mean, if it's already built and it's really good, why would you try and reinvent the wheel and spend all the money to try and do the same thing?
Because you already are one of the largest record keepers on the planet.
Yeah, but maybe they like the other tech better.
Well, yeah, there you go. Great state.
So in that micro space, JD, there's less room for them to be asset gatherers because there's no assets or smaller assets, we'll say. And so you're looking at a pay to play, a build type setup in order to cover expenses. And Hancock rolled that out maybe 2.5, 3 years ago, where they went with a flat $1,000 fee and a per participant charge, and it kind of blew up on them for a while. And I think this is their way of saying, hey, we're still selling in the micro space. We will continue to sell in the micro space, but we just can't find a way to be profitable in it. And so we're going to try something new and see if we can find a way to create some margin. The issue I have, and it's the same thing with Simply and Principal, if I want Vestwell, I'm going to go to Vestwell. What am I getting additionally for having some sort of markup, unless Aaron has dropped his costs significantly lower than what Vestwell would charge directly, but they had to create some margin for Hancock in this distribution channel. So if I want Vestwell, why don't I just go straight to Vestwell? Same thing with American Funds Plan Premier and using the Empower chassis, and Ubiquity using Principal and so forth.
Well, that will be really interesting when we can see the pricing to see if that's true, Chad, if it's just cheaper to go to Vestwell directly. But they said in these press releases that this partnership is about distribution.
Of course,
so Vestwell does not have the brand. It doesn't have the distribution that Hancock does. And so obviously that partnership works great for Aaron, but I just am still tripping. I've always thought of Hancock as a small plan provider, even a startup plan provider. And so to hear some of these press releases saying we need to part with them so we can deliver something that works in this kind of this new like cover the gap age of bringing retirement plans to all walks of life, as they put it. I'm like thinking to myself, you fuckers already do that. Like, why do you need Aaron to do that? But I'm going to stay right now and say, Aaron Schum, holy shit. Like
he told us.
That
He
boy,
told us on like day 100 for him that this is what he was
I
going
was
to do.
gonna
And
go there.
JD
You're
and I are like, no fucking
You're
way.
stealing from my next point, but Holly, I mean, you don't have to chime in here, but I mean, did you see this? And did you have any thoughts about what we're saying right now? I mean, this is kind of out of left field.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think to be fair, I did not read the article, so I'm kind of talking off cuff. But I
You
just
and Robe Guy.
what's that?
You and Robe Guy.
Oh, see, Rope Guy, we're twinsies. He's so mad at me. I mean, I think we're seeing this all across the board. It's like people are just trying to figure out how can we capture the most, the most area here. And sometimes that's with partnerships. It's expensive. Fintech is expensive. So it's like, as soon as you're in it, it's like you onboard everyone, you get everyone through the process of figuring out how to work it. It changes. And so, there's got to be some scalability there for them. I don't think they would do it just to do it. So
what you're saying is that Aaron Shum and Vestwell clearly have built something that runs more efficiently, so much so that they want to just partner with it and slap their name on it. Chad, let's tell everyone, you and I sat down with Aaron Shum early days.
Very early days.
He was really kind of blueprinting out the roadway for Vestwell. And it was me and Chad sitting down with him at a tiny little table in a crowded conference. And he said, yes, I'm building this record keeping system. It's going to be new day tech stack, not like these old legacy providers. It's going to run way more efficient. It's going to be more affordable. And he goes, and I'll be like the Intel chip of 401k. Like they'll want to buy my record keeping system because it'll be great. And I thought, this guy's got a few fucking screws loose. Like I was like, he thinks he's going to build a record keeping system and some legacy provider is going to actually like fucking buy it to use it on their system. I was like, this guy's fucking crazy. And Chad, you walked away from that meeting more confused than me.
I just didn't see how he was going to get these folks that have billions of dollars essentially to invest in product and growth to then go out and say he's done it better. Let's use his solution. I didn't see it as being viable.
Well, we were wrong. And to me, Aaron obviously proved that he can be successful in other ways, state-run plans, people just buying Vestwell as it is. But this to me is a much bigger proof of concept from what I heard Aaron tell me he wanted to do this. And that must have been, I don't know, 7 years ago or something, Chad. When was that? I have no idea.
It would have been, I was just looking back. I think it was probably 2016, maybe 2017.
So holy shit. Like this, I don't know if everyone understands this. Like this is a big fucking deal for our industry that some massive provider like John Hancock, who's a top 10, top 7 provider saying, okay, Aaron Shum, you do this shit better than we do. So we need to use your product. My mind's blown. We can move on.
I think it's a really big deal, but I also think that if you start peeling back the onion a little bit, and we already talked about all this, but like, where are all these other record keepers moving? It's this digital platform, digital based, quick, again, like the disruptors, like the guidelines and others. And Hancock probably looked at that and goes, that'll take us 2-3 years to build. We could do this tomorrow with something that's already out there. To me, the hard part is when we get into these weird, confusing parts about like who and what and the overlap and the different good job, Sam. So the different, players that are on the team, and it can get kind of convoluted. It can confuse people. And I think we're all just trying to see what it's going to look like, but I'm not necessarily all we've talked about for years now is consolidation, right? And so they're trying to make sure that they continue down that path and stay alive.
Than consolidation, but I like your point. Plan Sponsor Mag survey says that Hancock has a proprietary record keeping system. I should know that, but I'm going to be transparent. I didn't really know that. I didn't know if they used something else or not. But so they have their own home built thing, which kind of ties into this, what we're talking about. Is it possible that this product is just a test run, this future step? It's just a test run for Aaron Shum and Vestwell, And that when John Hancock says that they are transforming our operating model, that's what the wholesaler sent me, or the sales guy from Hancock, that they're transforming our operating model into the future. Does that mean that maybe Vestwell actually becomes their record keeping system for everything down the line?
I don't know.
Could be. I doubt that, but it could be.
Spill the
Here-
tea, JD.
let me-
Spill the tea. I don't know. It could be.
Let me ask a question in return, JD. Why do you think Hancock felt the need to acknowledge that it was Vestwell's system? Why couldn't they have just rolled out a new product, a digital product in the micro space, and essentially private labeled it on the back end without telling the world this is Vestwell's system? What's the value in that acknowledgement?
Maybe they're smart that if they didn't, and I'll let Holly talk about some, if you fib about something and then you get caught, you kind of look worse. So why not just be modern day and say, we're collabing with these people? I kind of like it. I like the transparency, Holly.
I mean, maybe their system wasn't so great and they were getting bad feedback. And so here's an opportunity to rectify that. I mean, I did just spend like a day with John Hancock on their education platform. This was like 7 years ago, so I don't know what it looks like now. But I mean, it's expensive to build this. So if you have, I will say in the last year, I've had lots of fintech companies that, come in and talk to me about their product. And, when we dig deep, it's like, okay, well, it doesn't do this, this, and this is what I need, right? It does this and this, but not everything. And I've had many of them say like, hey, if we'll build something around you. Can you be our case study? And we'll build this around you at cost. It's not going to cost you anything if you're willing to kind of like let us use you as our case study. So I think everyone's just trying to figure out how can we answer everybody's challenges in one platform. I think it's hard to do. It's really hard to do.
Bob Driscoll, we do not chat to the hosts and panelists. We chat to everyone. As you know, it's going to go up on the big screen. But I like your point. I'm thinking, oh, does Aaron Schum do a big deal with Hancock to do all the record keeping in the future? And Bob goes, no, JD, you dummy. They're going to fucking buy those motherfuckers.
No way.
Of course.
No way.
I will tell you, so I'm not going to use acronyms because I'm going to try not to do any shots tonight. But at a previous firm, like that was the question. It was like, okay, well, this company's coming in and, this is what they're willing to do, blah, blah, blah. Well, should we buy them? Like it is, I think that is a fast solution to solve some of this.
We'll see. I don't know. I'd like to say that Aaron Schum has bigger dreams than that. And I know there's a lot of money invested in there, but I think also Aaron Schum came in this industry as an outsider and kind of a tech guy, and they like their end game, right? They like their out. And so, yeah, if a big company like Hancock, by the way, who's owned by Manulife, who's a monstrous company out of Canada, like that could be a win-win. This is such an exciting industry we're in right now. I feel like I'm just in the middle of a fucking action movie. It's so cool.
I love it.
I think these large gorillas are realizing
like that robe guy
that having the tech in-house doesn't allow them to grow and bob and weave in the way they want to. And I don't think they want to buy a Vestwell. I think they want to partner strategically with tech companies that can bridge the gap that they need to continue to be asset gatherers.
We'll see. You're not very exciting to talk to, Chad. I don't like those outcomes.
That's more exciting because then you have all these tech companies that can actually make an impact in the space.
Chad Parks agrees with you. Now I agree with you too.
That's all I need.
What the fuck was I just going to say? Oh, no, it's not Mancock. That was when Manulife bought Hancock. This is Cockvest or Vestcock or something. All right, let's spin the wheel of ice, shall we? Yeah. And if you motherfuckers don't have your ices today, I swear to God.
We don't got them.
Silent TransAmerica, 120-year-old company has rebranded. They got a whole new logo, whole new look. It's It's what did they say? I want everyone to know this. Their new brand embodies their mission. It's flexible. Is this real? This is real. It's flexible, optimistic, and young at heart. And their tagline was that I saw in the video was, I don't know if this is their official tagline, but live your best life. They've got bright colors and imagery, and their logo still has the little TransAmerica building pyramid in it. It's just a kind of a new 2.0 version of that. But if you listen to their company talk, they're trying to tell everyone that they're going for the masses, for the everyday people. They can help mark the flower shops in the auto body shop on the corner. They can help them all with their financial needs to live their best life. Fun fact. So you do know that they don't even own the TransAmerica building. Does everyone know that?
Yeah.
Like they do not own that building anymore.
Is it really called the TransAmerica building still, or are they
It
just
is.
calling
It's
it that?
called the TransAmerica Pyramid.
Pyramid.
It's this building in San Francisco, but they don't even fucking own it. But
They have
they're-
rights to like the majority of the floors, though. It's still
Just the
them
top
renting
part.
out the floors.
I think it's the
Oh,
same
really?
thing for John Hancock in Boston, though, isn't it?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know.
They used to own it, and I
Boston
think they sold it
Chicago?
for quite a profit. I don't know. Somebody from one of the Bostonians probably will let us know here. Jim?
Well, I have to say, I like the design work. It definitely looks to me when I saw it, and I love to talk shit about stuff, especially like graphic design. I was like, okay, it looks like a modernized version of what they are. And when you're a 120-year-old company and you want to keep like some of your legacy, but kind of look fresh and new, like I'll totally give a thumbs up for what they're doing. You're shaking your head no, Chad. Why?
No, like Moody is having his best night ever.
Is
His
he being a
points
good boy?
and his points are on, and I agree with him. It's a full court press on this Met Pep space. Damn it!
Oh,
Just
that's a
see
double.
what they can do,
Ah,
and depending on how it goes, I think they're the next to probably consolidate with
That's
somebody
what I was
bigger.
going to ask. Are
Moody
they
is
just putting
in
on some
fuego.
lipstick to look
Moody
a little
is a
bit prettier
pro.
and go for the sell?
Can we have
Yes.
Moody, can Moody be a guest on the show? Is that can he get
Well,
that compliance?
No,
Will Mark allow it?
no, no.
Oh,
All
he
in
would be
favor, say
solid,
aye.
JD.
I have
Nick-
Moody muted on my end.
Mark,
I don't
he is
see or
a-
hear anything he says.
10 times smarter than you would think. Chatting with him, some of the shit he's creating for clients and for his team, it's exceptional.
Do you think
Depending on
that
how
I
smart the
care about
economy
how
is to start,
smart
that may not
somebody
mean
is?
much.
I could
No,
care
I don't.
less.
don't get him fired up, Rub Guy, because he needs to be a good boy tonight, and we're going to talk about his subject, but only if he's a good boy. Let me help TransAmerica out for a moment, and let's just do a little, not an ad, but just a little like, hey, let's get to know TransAmerica for a moment, shall we? We're talking about them. We work in the 401k space. Plan sponsor mag, record keeper survey. I went there today. I looked up TransAmerica. They're ranked number 13 in total plans with 22,935. Okay. All right. Not bad.
Lower than
Way
I
to go,
thought.
TransAmerica. 32% of that is 403B plans. 55% is done in partnership with I'll just say it on purpose, a TPA. And I think you should up that 55%, you little Trans Am bitches. Get that number up. Ugh.
Those are rookie numbers.
What's that?
I said those are rookie numbers.
Yeah, rookie number.
Anyone getting that?
They are third
Mhm.
in pooled employer plan assets. So that tequila tastes nasty. With 1.5 billion. They're number one in multiple employer plans.
Yeah.
They are number one, numero uno, in total adopting employers in a pooled employer plan. So, the number of actual companies that are in it. So that is a quick snapshot of TransAmerica living your best life. They're flexible, they're optimistic, and they're young at heart. Robe Guy, they just paid me 10 grand for that.
And
you
in
can buy
case
another
you're
toilet.
wondering, the font in their logo is Forever Forma font.
It
'Cause
is.
that was
Thanks, Chad. Thank
incredible.
you.
Incredibly
How did you, of
important
all
to
people,
point
know
out.
that?
I
mean,
would-
why
because
wouldn't
they
it
said
be?
it in their
Oh,
press
did they?
release.
I didn't read the full release.
Dad, why wouldn't it be? That's the obvious choice. I can't imagine any other selection.
I just love it that some marketing person thought we should definitely
It's
push this.
important.
This is important to people to know.
All right, Moody, you've been a good boy, and you're apparently you're en fuego. So, Holly,
Yes.
when you fly, do you fly American? Spit it out, JD. American Airlines.
Airlines. I try not to. I probably fly Delta more than anything.
Oh, fancy.
Well, this is big news. This is another big one that we can dive into here. It's a little more complicated, but a judge has ruled against American Airlines. I don't know why it's so difficult for me to say. and they're all drink all over ESG. Let me see if I can map this out for you a little bit. This is the interesting part. And by the way, I apologize for using this article you're looking at. It's an investment news article, and it's crap compared to Nevin Adams's article on the National Association of Plan Advisors. I highly suggest you go look at that one. Yes, wink at me, you sexy little guy. He highlights or summarizes this thing very, very, very well. And what is happening here that's a trip is they're saying that there was a breach of loyalty, but not a breach of prudence. And I'll kind of describe that a little bit. But basically what we're dealing with here is BlackRock and their chief executive officer. This
Dude,
is
how
gonna
much did
be
you have to drink
this-
before the show?
This is a good show. This is a good show.
Great.
Love it.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Oh, Brandon.
And if you all remember, Larry Fink came out and wrote this big, like, woke, what is it? Social governance. What's the E stand for? I forget.
Environmental.
Environmental,
Social governance kind of like memo article, if you will, to white paper to everyone about why they needed to be. God damn it, my dogs are barking. Hang on.
He did this the other day. We were in the
What
middle
the
of
fuck
a
is going
meeting
on?
and the dogs barked and JD's like, I'm out, Chad. I'll be back.
We're on the third headline, and we're 40 minutes
Mark,
in.
You always say that. This
Mark
is what
looks
the
a little
show-
angry tonight.
We don't have any other topics. It's all headlines. And so BlackRock kind of comes out, the whole world knew it as this like very pro environmental social governance company. Okay. And Larry Fink was saying like, this is where the world needs to go to, yada, yada, yada. Well, apparently the executives at American Airlines were in lockstep with him and felt the same way. And there's some emails and some evidence that goes back and forth that they're all kind of feeling the same way. And I don't know whether this is good or bad yet, but one of their employees, I think a pilot, sues them and says, you're not acting in the best interest of participants, following your fiduciary duty because of this whole environmental social governance thing. You're picking funds, or excuse me, let's be clear here. You're picking a money manager that picks funds and basically BlackRock manages the index funds that they have. So you're picking a manager, mind you, that picks funds within their mutual fund that slant this way. Therefore, that's why I'm suing you. You wouldn't think maybe that would go anywhere. But the judge says, yes, you are American Airlines. Not what is he? So I said, you're a breach of loyalty. You're acting prudently because you've got a good process. Everything you're doing is fine. But these are my own words, not the judge's. But there's something fishy going on here. You're being led by kind of your political beliefs, and this was a big political battle. And anyways, so far the judge says, anvil down. Do they have an anvil? Is that what it is? No. What are they?
Gavel.
Yeah, an anvil.
Gavel. No, not a
Gavel.
anvil.
Thank you,
That'd be
Justin.
heavy. Fuck. That'd break the
Gavel.
desk every time, man.
So Nevin's confused by this. Fred Reish is confused by this. Nevin says very eloquently, the divergence between a finding of disloyalty and one of prudence strikes this writer as unusual. Beautiful, beautiful, Nevin. That was well put.
Good job, Devin.
Not as slick, but Fred Reich says, and we all love Fred, seems confused by this, and he says, the opinion is, to say the least, unusual. To actually say someone's doing something dirty, but there's no prohibitive transaction and they're not prudent. Okay, so I guess the question for y'all is, and you can go off on another tangent if you want to, but Chad, or let's go to Holly. Is a plan sponsor responsible to understand the underlying investments and the methodology of a mutual fund company? Or is that too deep?
I think that's, I mean, it'd be great if they did, but they don't. I mean, I think that's a little bit.
Right answer.
That's a high expectation. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Chad, I would say to you, yeah, they are supposed to do that. That's exactly what they're supposed to do as fiduciaries.
No, I disagree.
You're wrong.
I disagree. I mean, look at the material underlying investments, and if those investments are getting into this field, then I think you could have some basis for your argument. But saying that they have a belief in this area when it has no material impact on your investors, your beneficiaries that you are a fiduciary for, I don't see how you have any.
Okay, so you're
right
answering
there.
me, though. You're answering me correctly. You're saying, yeah, they do have a responsibility to understand how
the investments, the underlying belief in those money managers, the methodology.
Yeah, but you're just saying, but just because they go on this social slant doesn't mean that that's some type of warning sign. I think that's
they're on a social slant, but that social slant has not impacted those investors or their beneficiaries.
No, and by the way, to back you up, and I'm sure many people in the chat bar know this, there is no proof of any real financial loss here. So we no one's claiming that, to be honest with you. Like, that's not what this is about. This is about, there was the article that I put up, there it is. Sorry, it says this is cartel-like behavior. What they're worried about is, to Chad's point, there was no real losses or like a bad investment that happened. They're just saying, whoa, you can't do this. We know you, American Airlines. You like this social stuff. So does Larry Fink and BlackRock. Y'all are sending emails about it and doing this stuff, and you cannot take your political agenda and fucking invest your participants' money based on that. And that's
but they're not. That's the point. That's why the duty of prudence has not been nullified or shown any fault, because none of that has occurred so far. I mean, it's almost like cart before the horse. If they felt that this was the case, then wait until there was a breach and then file your suit.
I don't know, Chad. The judge disagrees with you.
No, the judge does not, right? The judge has said there's been no breach in duty of prudence. He believes there could be a breach in duty of loyalty, which is not covered under the Employee Retirement Income Security Act.
But you cannot have conflicts of interest. Okay, let's stop for a second, Chad. I love when Chad and I debate.
And do they yet, JD?
Hang on. Listen to me for a second. All that's fine, doing your prudence and all that type of stuff. But first and foremost, you have a responsibility to act in the best interest of the plan participants. And if there are conflicts of interest or self-dealing or weird shit happening, regardless of the fact of where it's done prudently, clearly by this judge, you can fucking be in foul. Like, this is not okay. You're not allowed to do
But
this.
is that the argument that they chose BlackRock? They chose BlackRock, even though the underlying investments are not in this field yet. They chose BlackRock because they have aligned visuals on this, or thoughts?
No, they continued to work with BlackRock and allow BlackRock to handle a big chunk of their participants' assets, knowing that they had this social slant. And that
social slant has not, maybe I'm wrong, but that social slant has no impact yet on these participants or their beneficiaries. So what the fuck is the argument?
Preemptive, for sure.
It's preemptive. Good luck. So that CEO, there's a CEO that does a whole lot of coke. Let's start suing them because they're in line with. Yeah, thanks, Mark. This is ridiculous.
I like it. Well, I think
who's doing coke?
Some CEO out there, so nobody can do business with that company because there's someone at the helm. Damn it. that's making bad
Oh.
decisions.
Let's put a cap on this and talk about the ramifications of this. And this is what people are worried about. Are you drinking Whistle Pig? What is that?
El Mejor
Oh,
tequila.
So the shape of the bottle, I thought you were just swigging some Whistle Pig. If this, and again, they can always appeal, and we don't have a specific judgment yet. And I think it was Fred Reich or some other attorney in the article I read that said it's really hard to come up with a monetary value for this, because Chad's actually super right when he goes, there was no like financial loss here. Maybe quite the contrary, depending how you look at it. You can look at those things from a lot of different lenses, but it's going to be difficult to come up with a number. But if this does go through and there is a number and it doesn't get appealed, their concern is that it's a heyday for attorneys now, like Schlichter and everyone, to run around and look for these situations where there's these, I mean, obviously BlackRock's massive, right? They're everywhere to look for these lawsuits. So this is why it's a big deal. But I'm ashamed, not ashamed. I think the concept of the argument here is you shouldn't just dismiss it. It's very interesting that if you are, as a fiduciary, supposed to act in the best interest of your participants, and you definitely shouldn't let your political and or social beliefs get in the way of that. And I think that's what this lawsuit's all about, which is why it makes headlines and why it's interesting and exciting. That's all. Let's call a spade, right? That's probably a shit. That analogy makes no sense. Call a spade, but
I never did.
this is what we're talking about. Holly.
Yes.
You hate fucking BlackRock, right? No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
Wowza.
Holly.
Yes. Sorry.
Give me a quick one. Participant education. Hey, you've been doing it for a little while now. I'm not referencing you're turning 51 in this year, but we all know that you are. But you've been doing it for a little while. How can you let us know how you think it's changed in a big way? I mean, we went through COVID. There's all these digital Zoom meetings and stuff. Like, tell us how you feel your job or the whole concept of participant education has evolved a little bit.
Yeah,
If it has.
It definitely has. I think, that's such a complex question. I'll say this. I think, when you look at the generations, and we've talked about this a little bit before, but the generations coming in, the generations that are here now, the Gen Alphas that are coming in like 5 to 7 years, totally digital natives. They've never known anything other than that, right? So I think
Get their financial advice on TikTok.
they do, and that's I just heard some kind of new not acronym, but new monocle. What's the word? For like
Isn't that one of those things you put in your eye?
Yeah, Monopoly guy.
Monocle. No, like these on TikTok, they've got these financial gurus who are like, and they've got like huge followings. So
right.
There's a piece of
I
me,
sure do, yeah.
there's a piece of me that's excited about that, because they're people are engaged, and I love that. I love
that they're talking about financial stuff instead of the best cool jeans.
Wait,
to wear.
isn't TikTok banned now? Isn't it going away?
Not yet.
4 days.
But what happens to all those finance influencers on TikTok? Where do they go?
Elon or
What
Mr. Beast are going to buy it.
Robe Guy, Holly's trying to talk
Sure.
about participant education.
Oh, sorry, Holly.
You're all good. It's okay. I love you, Roby Guy.
I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that.
Jesus Christ.
I think, I as have you, I've really leaned into AI in the last year. I mean, I've spent a lot of time.
Drink.
Oh shit. I will drink for that. Oh, I gotta drink a bad drink.
Yeah. Although
It doesn't have to be bad.
white wine
Doesn't be
would,
hard.
I don't really drink this.
white wine would qualify, but
Oh, okay. Well, I'll drink that.
oh shit. My bad, everybody. My bad.
I just think I'm excited. Hmm?
Keep going. Sorry. We're just derailing you every time and every
oh shit. See, my menopause brain just took over and I forgot what I was gonna say.
That was our fault, not yours. You were talking about the TikTokers
Yeah.
and how all these different generations see things differently. And
Yeah, I think that it's an exciting time to be in this industry. We are seeing just a huge shift that's happening in so many different ways. I think that the artificial intelligence, the help that we're going to be able to have from all of this tech development. So let me back up the train a little bit. When I first moved to New Hampshire, and this was like 9 years ago, I was working at UNH, and I was working with some faculty there. And one of the professors at the business school was
Keep going. You can catch up.
talking about,
I missed that one.
this was 10 years ago, and he was talking about big data. He's like, listen, 10 years from now, all this data that we've been collecting, it's going to make a huge impact. And he was talking to companies about, like, this is what you should be thinking about. And, back then it was like, okay, like, I didn't really understand.
Who cares? Data.
Nobody understood it.
It seemed like a big company problem, not a everybody problem, right?
Exactly. And I remember I was teaching a class, and so these were business students. And I remember I was sharing my screen, and one of the students was like, "Oh, are you looking at some new boots?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And it didn't even occur to me, but the Amazon, there was an Amazon ad that was running along the bottom that had like boots popping up.
Yeah.
It was like white noise to me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I was like, huh? And she goes, well, obviously you've been looking at boots because there's boots running along the bottom of your thing.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Right. So
I didn't think you're looking at boots at that time. She knew enough. You're seeing that ad that you're in the market for some new boots. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So that generative, that it's machine learning. And I think going forward, it's going to be really, really interesting to see how people kind of lean into this and engage with this, because I think it's going to be a big game changer. Yeah.
So when you say that, and then I
gloss over the fact that she was teaching,
and then I read.
Whoa! What?
Let's not derail. Let's stay 401k for a moment. And I read Nate Moody's comments about automating financial planning advice based off of data, and you talk about the boots. I mean, you're an educator, so I guess what you're saying, what I just heard you say is like you kind of agree with all that. Like you want to use information and data to help kind of push people towards decisions versus trying to convince them to make decisions on their own.
100%.
Yeah. Okay. Well, to me, that's a big deal. That's a very big deal when it comes to someone who I feel as though you're an expert in participant education. For you to feel that way is a profound statement. Like we need.
I mean, I believe, and I think I told you guys this the last time I met with you, but I was with 1,000 participants last year. So 1,000 people that I sat down with. And I just think it's hard to really, everybody's got a story. Everybody's at a different point in their life. And it's hard to really kind of, match a human with a person. We can't really direct as much change as we want to without really leaning into technology. We have to. And I think the younger generation, they're looking for that. Older generation, maybe it's a little bit, it's a little bit different for them. Different challenges, different ideas. But I think we really, just in our industry, I think we need to lean into this. Otherwise, we're not really doing a good service to the people we're trying to serve. And I think we have the tools, the technology, and the resources to do it. And we have the responsibility, in my opinion.
Chad, you had a thought, so I shut up for a second.
I looked at the clock and realized how much time we have.
Oh, there's no clock. There's no fucking clock.
Okay,
there's for sure a clock.
I'll ask then, because it came up in the chat bar. What do participants, and I'm using that term specifically, not employees, but participants in these plans, what do they actually want from us from an education standpoint? And I think if I think honestly, the first thing they want is to know that they can trust the resource that are making the decisions or recommendations that they're receiving. So if we're going to auto enroll them, if we're going to auto escalate them, if we're going to default them, they want to believe that what we're doing on their behalf is the right thing. And then beyond that, I think the truth of the matter is that they don't really want 401k education. And forgive me because I've said this in the past, but they want what should I do with my next dollar earned education? should it be used to pay down my car? Should it be used to pay down my credit card debt? Should it be used to invest? Should it be used for a 529 plan? It's the financial counseling. That's what I think they actually want. And I think the retirement plan is a place in which we can give that to them, because the auto features are going to pick up the slack and keep people involved. But I guess that's a question. Like, what do these participants actually want from an educator? Because I don't think it's 401k education.
Were you saying, Chad, there, or in between all those words, were you saying that they want us to do it for them?
Yeah, I think the majority of the people do. If you look at those who want to be active in their investing, it's the minority for sure.
You know how they say the cobblers, this is literally going to be a perfect analogy, how the cobblers kids get no shoes or something like that. My daughter's 26, 27, something like that. And her 401k, she's got a decent chunk of money she's been putting away in like 2 different 401ks. And she's not always, I think she's invested in cash. And when she comes to me, I'm like, I want to sit her down and be like, okay, let me talk about asset allocation. Let me talk about diversity. Let me talk about these different sectors. And her kind of vibe is like, I just want you to tell me what to fucking do. Like, I don't want to like learn it. I want you to just tell me.
I want you to know my situation and tell me.
You're agreeing. Like,
I mean, I think that's true. I mean, there are some people, but I've also met with people. I wish and I'll send it to you guys if you're interested in seeing it, but I got a great email from this participant. And I think this kind of sums it up for me and why I do it the way I do it. But she sent me an email. I started working with her. When I started working with her, she had 0 financial literacy, 0, right? And she came in through the retirement plan. So we kind of like sat down and I gave her some goals and we worked out what her plan was. And then she's like, hey, listen, I've got some money sitting in my, my IRA, my Roth, and I'm not sure what to do with it. I've got a little in my brokerage account. Tell me what to do. And I said, listen, I can tell you what to do. At that point, I had known her well enough. We've been together for a year. Like, I knew her situation. I can tell you what to do, but I have the sense that you really want to understand this. So instead of me telling you what to do, I'm going to give you an exercise. And so I gave her like a Morningstar, style box and her fund lineup. And here are your criteria. I want you to fill this in and then come back to me and we'll talk. And so she fast forward, it was like a year later, and she sent me this email. And she goes, listen, I just wanted to kind of update you. What I learned from you was really, really helpful. And not only did I like learn about this, but I really, really got excited about it. So I signed up for a Harvard Business School, online free course for 6 months about investing. And I learned so now she's talking to me about like Sharpe ratios and all this stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, right? Like, so here was someone, I could have just told her the answer and then that would have been good.
But Holly, I love that story. That's such a cool story. I mean, that's why you're here, but that's not, we can't scale that, right? That's not for everyone.
Well, I think we can scale it though. I mean, I think yes. I mean, it's a little bit of an outlier. That one's a little bit, over the top.
I like turtles.
But I truly believe that especially this younger generation coming in, they are thirsty, hungry. They want to know more. They want to learn. It's not just about tell me what to do and, I'm going to get rich. They want to understand it for themselves. And so that's kind of the approach I've always taken. And I don't know. I think that there's a way to scale that for sure.
Moody is in Fuego. Yeah, it's good. I'm kind of siding with him. But you said it earlier, Holly, like you believe in this kind of using the data and pushing them. But I think what you just told me was, well, at the same time, it's like, hey, if people have a thirst to learn about this shit, then we should be able to provide them those outlets as well, because that will help them save more. Good. So there's the moral of the story is everyone is different, right? And
Did you see Brian Williams' comments? Like, ask the participant, do you want the 5-second, this is what you should do? Do you want the 5-minute education with this is what you should do? Do you want the 25-minute education with this is what you should do? Right. I'm adding that this is what you should do. But I think that's true, because there are certain times where I want to learn, and there are other times where I'm like, I trust you, tell me what to do.
That's well put. He should like do a podcast or something.
I will tell you, like, I mean, I think I've told the story before. When I first got into the industry, I was in the wealth management side, right? So I didn't know anything about retirement, and I started in the third party administration side. And so I remember sitting with a retirement financial advisor with a participant, and he's like, "How old are you?" "Okay, we're gonna put you in a target date fund." And I was just like, that's not acceptable to me. Like that might be the right solution
Right.
for this person, but
You wanted to
I
know
don't
more.
think that should ever be the default. I feel like we have an obligation and a responsibility to actually educate people.
Well, according to Chad, I'm not going to have time tonight to pitch my own artificial intelligence company, but I think with artificial intelligence, we probably could solve a lot of these problems. Like no offense to the physical human bodied advisors in the chat bar, but artificial intelligence could have the 5-minute, 20-minute, 30-minute conversation and provide different things. So the future is going to look very different. And I think that's kind of the moral of the show tonight is like, I said it in the very beginning for the people who tuned in really early. I was seeing like, wow, I always say like, oh, things are going to change. But now I really do feel like, holy fuck, I think my industry could look entirely different from what it looked like 10, 15 years ago in the next 5, 10 years. And it's gonna be crazy.
It's funny that you say that. When Justin, Mark, Devin, and I met this week, I said, I kind of have a pretty good idea of what 2025 is going to look like. And unlike prior years where I feel like I can see a 3-year horizon, I honestly have no fucking clue right now.
It could be insane.
2026 could be entirely different than 2025. 2027 could look like a whole different industry. Like there's so much right now.
So, I mean, I know you guys lean into AI too. I'll drink for that. Oh,
I like Hackler. Hackler's here finally.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
When you're looking at like, I think the common, understanding is around Chat GBT because that's the most, the streamlined. But okay, fair. But I think I look at it in phases, right? So I started with this like a little over a year ago. At that phase, when you're first jumping into this type of environment, it's like all about efficiencies. How can I make my life easier, better, more efficient, streamlined, blah, blah, blah. I think the second phase of it is about critical thinking. How can I change the way I do X, Y, or Z? And I think the potential with that when it comes to financial education is just really, really exciting. I think there's a lot that we can do here. So I'm excited and I'm grateful that I'm in a company that's going to allow me to do that. So this is going to be good.
I think the hashtag not your typical advisor takeaway from that is there's probably no more paramount time than now historically to make sure that you don't get run over by all the changes and you keep your eyes open, you keep your ear to the ground, and you stay really open-minded to all these things that are happening in front of you and don't get stuck in a rut of running your business the same way you always have. Somehow, this is going to be very Holly Knight of me, but somehow that's what the universe is telling me right now is like, you've got to evolve and change. Like you can't just keep doing things the same way over and over and over again. And I think that's more true now than ever. And so if you want to succeed, you want to do well, you want to fucking grind and crush it, I think you need to be thinking about all this technology and all the things that are changing this evolution. So blah, 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 blah. Chad, do you have to go somewhere? Because we were planning a 3-hour show tonight. So you didn't
need
see
to
those?
eat dinner at some point, but
that's why you have that bottle of whatever you're drinking that will sustain you. Holly, you like making money?
I've been drinking a lot of vodka in my free time. And
your favorite spot.
I always prepare for Mark's laugh in that, and it gets me.
Live, I was like,
Holly, we all like making money, so that's why we tune into Drunk Sock Tips. Brandon's still awake, right?
not good about following the chat bar.
This company has 52 billion in revenue for 2023, Mark. That's an increase of 8% from the previous year. The stock has almost doubled in the last 6 months, but that's not really indicative of its history. It's actually been quite down since the old days. There's a timeline for you. The old days, pre-COVID. It has over 130,000 employees. And the ticker is, and I'll drink. Do we drink for a ticker? I don't know.
No.
AAL. That's right. It's American Airlines. Those social fucking ESG loving motherfuckers.
Yeah, that counts though.
What do you think, Mark? Do we buy the stock or do we not buy the stock? Somebody help me out. Where's it at right now? American Airlines.
1829.
Ooh, what's its high? Like it's up in the 50s or something, right? Back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty flat for the year. Peaked at
It
30 on the 5-year.
Yeah, back in the 2017s or 18s, it was like 59 or something. What happened to the airlines, man? COVID fucked them up, and then they just, you haven't even recovered from that. They actually got fucked up pre-COVID, but sorry, I'm not the Robe guy, so let's go, Roby. What do you think?
See, this is the hard part because sometimes I don't even feel like I should have to give a logical reason why. It's just obvious, right? Like, can you just look at the name of the company? Hey, raise your hand if you like America.
I do.
If you don't, are you un-American? Okay, Justin, go fuck yourself. And the second question is, who likes to travel and go places on a plane?
I do.
What do you use to go do that? An airline. Two great words put together equals a good thing, right? It's
I
pretty
like to
simple.
choose the ones that have nice lie down seats in first class, but that's just me.
Well, okay, whatever, dude. I get it. You're on a different pay scale, whatnot. We're not talking about Frontier or Spirit right now. No offense, Devin. I know you fly those airlines. It's easy. At least in American, you can pick your own seat. Like I fly Southwest all the time because bags are free or whatever. But I get.
Did you say Southwest? Oh,
yeah, for us poor people, JD.
oh
yeah.
God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
But I get anxiety from picking or getting in line or having to check in and all that.
Next year, Mark. Don't worry.
But when I fly American Airlines, I feel like I've hit the lottery because I'm like, I can pick seat 18D. Like, this is great. I am impressed.
I almost just typed "Let's go, Brandon" in the chat bar, but I said, "No, that's not good. I'm not trying to make a political message. I just was like, America, America."
So, anyways, I'm just blabbing on here. Obviously, you know my answer. Like, it's an airline in America. Buy it.
Wow, I never knew you were such a nationalist. My God.
I don't live in a country that I would, if I didn't want to be here, I'd just go somewhere else. What are you talking about?
Southwest stock price is at $32 a share. I have a significant holdings in airlines in general that purchase all the top 5, essentially top 7.
Chad, stop for a second. Stop. Every time we do this, and you dive into your personal stock portfolio, I begin to learn you have a lot of fucking money, man. Like, you are crushing it.
Significant holdings is $50.
Significant holding is in airlines. Oh, I bought fucking Buffalo Wild Wings and it was 38 cents. And I
just understand.
Open my brokerage account, buy a bunch. Spend $1,000 on. How much money do you have, Missouri guy?
Understand something, though, Chad, that Southwest and American Airlines, although they're in the same sector, are very different in terms of revenue and what they do. Like, American Airlines is a behemoth compared to Southwest, but the
for sure,
price to earnings ratio of American Airlines is wacky. Like, it's super high, but Rogue Guy doesn't care about that shit. So Rogue Guy says buy. American Airlines, right?
The last thing I'll mention is, how else are we going to get places if you don't want to drive on land?
They
Can't
don't
take
have a
fucking
monopoly
boat.
on planes.
You're gonna go on a plane. Buy the stock. It's a plane. Go. You're gonna go. If it's not American Airlines, they're gonna rebrand it. Cool
Hey.
new logo.
Okay.
I just typed it into Bing and there's a little analyst rating and it says buy.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. I'm not. Whatever Rogue guy
Wait, did
says
you
is
just
you need to do it. Like
expose-
But
fucking.
but JD, honestly, that's like a
Process.
no-brainer. Like I feel like you're giving me these little softball tosses these days. Like, oh hey, I'm gonna pump up your numbers, dude.
It's
that's-
just so fly.
That's just an easy one.
Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
All right. Fun trivia question before we go to something else. Top 3 airlines by revenue. Do you want to know?
Southwest.
By
No.
revenue?
Not Southwest.
Revenue.
By annual revenue.
Got to be American number 1, Delta 2.
Alaska.
Oh, good,
No.
Chad. That shocked me.
Lufthansa, Etihad.
I didn't understand Delta enough. So Delta is number 1
Yeah.
in revenue.
I'm
United.
I'm gonna
United.
go with Emirates.
Are you talking
Number
worldwide or just in
What?
the States?
No. Just worldwide. Emirates is like way down there. But
What?
because I saw the top 50. So this is revenue. Delta, United, and American Airlines. It's number 3.
Whoa.
All US based companies dominate the airline sector. Yes,
really cool that,
Silent J, you feel like
American-
you have a thought on this.
No, I was just thinking it's really cool that American Airlines filed Chapter 11 and then also took away a lot of their employees' stock, but they got high revenue. This is really cool. Awesome
Whoa.
company.
That's the way we do that shit when you run a
Yeah.
company, bro.
Mm-hmm.
How else do you pay for those Lambos? Quickly, before we go to Chat Bar Champion, I do want to say that the Waves webinar yesterday, I was so stoked on the amount of fucking people that showed up for that thing. And I am super psyched on all the people that continue to put their credit card information into Tony and I's website and pay us for those little things we built. Holy shit. I had no idea everyone was going to do that. And we'll table this for another show, but I've had a lot of artificial intelligence haters, shall I say, send me some emails. People that feel threatened by artificial intelligence answering complex 401k questions. And that's the conversation I want to have, but we'll table it for another show. But my God, Tony says, love y'all. Yeah, I was blown away at the amount of people that signed up for our shit. So an advertisement from Tony and me and Waves is we will continue to like make that thing better, work on it, and treat you as good as we can as our customers that are using it. And if you remember, we need the community. We need you to stump Chat 401k with questions it can't handle, because then it just makes it smarter and stronger. And so more to come from Tony and I in terms of our community and like working with you guys that paid for our shit. Chad. Who's smarter, JD Carlson or Chat? That's an obvious question. Okay, it's me. Chat Bar Champion. Brandon, I hope you can handle this. We want you to do like you used to do. Remember the people and throw together a poll so the audience can vote. Holy fuck, Chad Parks. Oh, they just went into Chat GPT. Okay. Justin, your vote for Chat Bar Champion.
I mean, it's pretty well known at this point, I think, right, Nate?
Do we just smash
across
it
the
down?
board.
No, let's let the audience vote. Chad?
Nate.
JD? Yes, JD. I will vote Nate. Rogue Guy?
I don't know yet.
Okay, Rogue Guy.
Not Nate.
Because he refuses.
How about this? You know, back in the day when it'd be like Tiger versus the field, I'll take the field. Everybody but Nate.
Okay.
How about that?
Rogue Guys. Okay. Holly?
Man, what a little bitch.
I was gonna say Nate. He seemed
Okay.
like
Okay,
I
Brandon.
can't see
Brandon.
much, so
Perfect. Brandon, if you can remember this for the poll, I'd like you to put Nate as an option, and the other
Not
option is not Nate. Okay.
Yeah.
Reading my brain.
Great.
If not Nate wins, Jesus.
But not Nate is taking off
Mark
right
is
now.
gonna lose his shit.
Can you guys see the results or just me?
No,
Only you.
you can't.
Oh,
see it.
not Nate is blowing up. Oh, Nate.
It's too good.
You voted for yourself, you loser.
Okay, so it's not Nate. And and I will share it, Brand. We're done with that. Yeah, share the result. They've seen the results. So not Nate. Tune in for our next show. And private message me your address, not Nate. Because I will be sending you, who knows, cat food, hula hoops, fucking inflatable toys. I don't know what, but I'm gonna be sending you
All the
something.
necessities right there.
Yes. Is he an advisor, Chad? He is an advisor? Moody or
Yes.
so I gotta
Oh, yeah.
stay under $100. That's no fun for me. I like to go through the $100 mark, but I'll stay under it. Is that the limit?
Yes.
Yes, we've done. This is a past that has happened before. Someone has gotten a pregnancy test. We are the Retireholics, and we are so fortunate to have Holly Knight back on this show with us. And congrats, Holly, on your new venture with the AERA Group, and kudos to them for swooping you up.
I see Itzo, Jim or Samson just put Itzo. So he's the one that actually connected Mango and I. That's how I
Well,
got.
you're
I wasn't gonna
connected
do it,
with
Brandon. I
right
wasn't
Christian
gonna do it.
Christian Mango's at AERA Group, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Let's
knew,
get it
I knew
twice.
Christian, but Josh was the one that introduced us again.
I'm sorry about that. I've never been impressed with Christian Mango. Like he's kind of
Oh,
Sounds like you keep saying Christian Mingle.
just kidding,
Like the
Christian.
website.
You're awesome. And your name, I mean, Mango. The mangoes are far better, right, Robe Guy, than oranges and tangerines and shit. You want
Mangoes
a
are
mango,
probably top 5 fruit for sure.
right?
Yeah, for sure.
They're just
Yep.
beautiful.
Especially in a beer.
Chad,
No, to eat.
Justin,
Yeah.
Mark,
JD.
all three of you happen to be on the golf team that just lost at our sales team event up in Cordoval. My God, I just realized that. The three
I
of
still
you.
think that none
Hey,
of this
JD,
matters,
JD,
none of
we
this
didn't
applies.
lose. We did not
Yeah.
lose.
The-
You won.
the
You won.
three
It's
of
okay to
you
be positive about it.
are all
Oh, you
would
can hit the
call
ball 300 yards.
JD, can
Chad?
you stop?
can
I don't
hit
wanna
bombs.
repeat,
Show me your short
Monday
game.
night
I want to see your short
Monday
game.
night.
I know you're pre-cut, Chad.
bad.
you guys are all losers in my book when it comes to the game of golf. Is Devin still on? Devin, you're a fucking winner. And I'm a fucking
Boys.
winner. And that's the difference between me and you and these three motherfuckers. Everyone out there that tuned in, we love you. We appreciate you for showing up. You're awesome. Chats out. And
I'm out.
we are the Retireholics. We are changing the retirement plan industry one beer at a time. And we'll see you next time. Peace out, people. We love you.
Thank you, Holly.
I love you guys.
Thank
Are
you,
you gonna
Holly.
be
Love
in
you too.
Napa?
Thank you, Holly.
Napa?
Whoa, drink.
Show's
Drink.
not officially over.
Chad'll be there. Chad's a little Aspa bitch.